question has to do with the Fed. I've asked you this question before, and I just saw the last debate, and there was quite a bit of discussion about the Fed. I'm still confused. I know there's books out there on the Fed, but my basic question is, what exactly is the relationship of the president to the Fed? And then, you know, we hear about other candidates saying that the Chinese play with their money. And lastly, when are interest rates going to go up?
Well, boy, if I knew the answer to the last one. But here's my guess.
Probably not until after.
Here's my guess. I don't think the interest rates are going to move until after the election. And it is related to your first question. What is the president's role in relationship vis-a-vis the Federal Reserve? The president appoints Federal Reserve members. This president has appointed every Federal Reserve member. This president has appointed the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve has become a politicized body, unfortunately. When the Federal Reserve says that its mandate is both the money supply and full employment, this is a recipe for politicization. And so what you've seen is the Fed continue to find reason after reason after reason why rates can't go up. And who is hurt by zero interest rates? Exactly right. You are hurt by zero interest rates because you're trying to save for retirement maybe, or you're trying to save for your kids' education. It is savers who are hurt by this policy. Who's benefited by this policy?
Wall Street.
Investors. If you own stocks, your stock is way up above where it should be because people have figured out the only place you can earn a return is in the stock market. That's why the stock market is performing way above where economic fundamentals would suggest. Or perhaps real estate. If you're in the investor class, you're doing really well with this policy. It is why the rich are getting richer. And if you are in the saver class, you are being harmed. The Federal Reserve is too political. The president appoints every single person. And oh, by the way, think about how much power the Federal Reserve has. This is less than 10 people. And somehow they, in all their wisdom, know exactly what to do. Without a full employment mandate, I don't think we would have had QE2, QE3. So, who you put in the White House matters hugely. The Federal Reserve has too much power. We need, I believe, to strip the dual mandate from the Federal Reserve. You also mentioned China. Of course China manipulates their currency. But China says to us that we're manipulating ours. And by the way, they're right. We are. When we continue to print money, what are we doing? What are we doing? So when we talk to the Chinese about manipulating currency, frankly, we don't have a lot of credibility. We have a lot of leverage over the Chinese. How do I know that? Because I've been doing business in China for decades. What is our leverage over the Chinese? The Chinese must grow their economy. If they do not grow their economy, they cannot lift people out of poverty. If they cannot lift people out of poverty, they cannot keep basic stability in their nation. Who is it who is accountable for so much of China's growth? The United States of America. Why? Because we are their largest market. Why? Because it is American companies that have given them know-how. We have real leverage. We need to smartly use that leverage. And we also have to push back on the reality that China is becoming a rising adversary. China is flexing its military muscle. China is building military bases on disputed islands. China is trying to control a trade route through which flows $5 trillion worth of goods and services. We cannot have somebody who doesn't understand the world and how it works in the Oval Office right now, because we are beset by adversaries. It's important to have somebody in there who knows who these adversaries are, who has been there, who has interacted with these people, and who understands the complexity of the world in which we operate.
Crop TV.